Hey and welcome to a little video where I just wanted to talk a little bit about the games I've played this year, games that disappointed me, games that I really loved, games that I think are a little bit overlooked, and it's gonna be like a freestyle video. It's not gonna be scripted. Like, I think, to a certain degree, when a game left an impression on you, you should be able to talk about it in a way where it feels very natural to rant about it, to say what you loved about it without having to write a script. And to a certain degree, scripted content is not the kind of content I do it sometimes, but it's not something I prefer. It's like most of the time I just prefer to just keep on talking about something, even though it's a very scrambled mess sometimes. So without further ado, I'm pretty sure I butchered that pronunciation. I didn't pay attention in French class. I didn't even pick French, I picked Latin. Biggest mistake of my life. But for example, the first game of the year that I basically also played. Why did I type chainsaw? Needy Streamer Overload. It was a game that was on my list for a longer time before it really released. Let's go with the trailer. Like there's endings. Oh, don't look. Let's just keep the launch trailer open in the background a little bit. And basically it's a game where you are like the producer of an idol in a way. Like, you're basically her boyfriend. You can also be her girlfriend if you want to. And it's about a girl who is not satisfied with her life, and when she goes online, she takes another alias as K-Angel, and it's like kind of your job to make K-Angel the biggest streamer that was ever there. And it's a little bit like a visual novel. There's not that much interaction. Like, you can send her cool stickers. Sometimes you get a choice where you click on, you can choose what kind of stream she should make. And depending on your actions, you unlock different endings. Sometimes she goes crazy, sometimes she doesn't go crazy. And there's like tons of endings. And the goal of the game is basically to get the true ending. And if you can do that, you will probably think, hey, I wish I had a K-Angel in my life. But sadly, girls like that are, actually, I don't know if they're rare. But in a way, you shouldn't wish for it. You will get psychologically destroyed. Probably, most of the time. Most of the time when you want to have a girlfriend that is a little bit out there, most of the time it will destroy you. Can also go for boyfriends. If you think you can fix her, maybe you can, but you can't fix yourself afterwards. But anyways, it's a very cute game in a pixel art style. There's tons of great fan art. Now you might think I'm a pervert, but most of the fan art I see is very pure. It's cute. You can make her overdose on drugs. I mean, the thing is, there's a sex button in the game too. So if you want to do that, you can have you can engage with her in such things, which actually helps her out in a certain way. In real life, I would disappoint her, but here in this video game, I can give her what she wants and what she needs. It's a very cute game, and it exploded. Like, I didn't thought it's gonna blow up like it did, but it kind of makes sense. It hits the mainstream zeitgeist in a little bit. I'm not gonna explain what I meant by that, because I just use buzzwords to explain what I meant, but actually, they make sense. It's not just buzzwords for the use of buzzwords, but it actually makes sense how I use them. And there's not that much else to say about the game. Like, I would recommend it. You should play it. It's only like $20. There's also a Switch version now, PlayStation 4, I guess, probably 2. And I do think there's potential for a second game like this, and I hope for it. And I hope you will enjoy it too if you desire to buy it, because it's very cute. And obviously it's a little bit, you have to like anime stuff. You have to like you don't really have to like idols, but you should check it out if visual novel kind of style games are your stuff. Also, my second game that I'm going to cheat is a little bit Toem. Toem is a game. Let's take the official gameplay trailer, because it will probably show you how to play this. Okay, they're talking about the game. Basically, Toem came out last year. This year there was a free update though. It's also the game I play. I didn't play it last year, I played it this year. A friend gifted it to me on Steam because he got a Humble Bundle key, whatever. Also, Steam Winter Sale, it's on sale right now. You should get it because it's one of the best games, one of the most wholesome games. The word wholesome is a little bit overused sometimes, but this is really wholesome. Like, basically, you're the little you're the little thing. I don't know if I don't know what kind of animal he is actually. And you go on a little quest to see the natural phenomenon called Toem, which is something I'm not going to spoil. Hopefully they don't show it here. And you go on your quest with your little camera because grandma is like, hey, you know, I did that once and you should do the same. So you get on your quest with the camera. And with this camera you can take photos. And that's your quest. Like you talk to characters. These are the photo challenger guilds. They give you like challenges. There's like always 2 of them in every stage, kinda. They're like levels. Sometimes you go to the beach, sometimes you go to the city, and they will ask you, hey, take a photo of this, take a photo of this shy animal, take a picture of yourself while you turn into a flower, take a picture of a shady looking dude, take a picture of a bird, take a picture of this. And it is so wholesome. The design of the game, look at the game, it has like this very cute art style. It's like just very cute, you know. You can also hang with your camera, you can take selfies, you can solve quests with the camera. And it took me like around like 3-4 hours to beat the game. And there's like the free content which adds another island for you to explore and make nice pictures, and you can even shoot balloons suddenly. And it is like, the thing is, you know, if it didn't grab me like it did, I would have not cheated and put it into this video about 2022. I mean, the DLC, which is free, by the way. If you buy the game, you get the DLC for free. But it made me happy. This game is just a feel-good kind of way to play video games. You play it and you think, yeah, this is cute. Yeah, this is great. I'm having fun. I'm relaxing. And, you know, if you like photography games, like if you ever play Pokemon Snap, it's not like it at all, actually. Just because you take photos in both games doesn't mean both games are going to be the same. But you should do it. You should play this game. Especially since it's on sale right now. But obviously, if you watch this video, maybe it's not on sale anymore. But next sale, you should get it. Even, I would say full price. Obviously, people think, oh, you know, have $50 for like a full price game. That's like, it's not a full price. Full price for the game that it's not on sale. You know, like it's $20 or $15 normally. But you know, people always have this. You know, they are scared of buying games that are like 3-4 hours long for like $15. They go like, nah, not more than 10. But I would say it's worth even that. And next game we have on the list is Kirby and the Forgotten Land, which it crushed it. I didn't imagine myself to have actually that much fun with this game. I'm obviously a Kirby fan. I mean, who doesn't like Kirby? Every once in a while, a Kirby game is like a nice little thing to shove down your throat, you know, if you like that kind of stuff too. And I wasn't super duper hyped for it. I was like, yeah, there's not much coming out on the Switch. You know, I bought Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak, which I didn't really play because I didn't. That was a mistake, I think. So it's not even going to be on my list because I never even got to Sunbreak. And I was like, Kirby. Can't go wrong with Kirby if I want to play a game. But playing this game actually made me think like, holy moly macaroni cheese with extra cheese, dippings, whatever. How is this game so good? Like, it's not inventing the wheel or anything like that, but it is like, just watching this video makes me want to play it again. It also looks beautiful. The soundtrack is amazing. It's obviously not super duper hard because it's Kirby, but just walking through the levels, trying to find like all the hidden Waddle Dees to free them. Sometimes that can actually be quite hard to find them all because some of them are fairly well hidden. And just look at the variety of the levels. So you go into a forgotten mall, a destroyed mall, you go to the desert, you go into ice. Like, obviously on the surface, those levels are kind of like, oh, ice world, wow, oh, desert world, wow. But the desert world is like with ships that stranded because the ocean is not there anymore. The ice level is like you go through like London that is like full of snow in it. The abilities, like obviously the full mode is not really like super special, like you turn into like 5 items throughout the game. But these abilities that you can upgrade are just fun to use. Like, the game controls perfect. The enemies are cute as heck. The bosses are great. Like, I'm not a furry, but that one furry leopard thing, it's the name of that animal. She's great. I forgot her name, but she's great. I did not do anything, you know. I did not masturbate to her. I actually did. it's a great game. I was very surprised how much I loved it. As someone who skipped like most of these 3DS Kirby games because I thought like, the style is kind of generic looking, like obviously Don't Punch Me, Robotot, or whatever it's called, is probably an amazing game, but you know, I never felt that. I was like, yeah, another 2D Kirby game. Now the first 3D Kirby game comes out and makes me think, holy shit, I want another one, please. I want them to pump them out every year, every 2 years, because I just thought, holy moly. You know, I don't say this often, like this is such a Redditor thing to say, where people go like, oh, I had a smile on my face the whole time I was playing this game, but I had. It is just so much fun. Like, if you ever feel you're in a dumpster, play this game and it will get you out of the dumpster, and then you should take a shower afterwards, because being in a dumpster is probably kind of smelly, and you don't want to be smelly, but I do like people being smelly sometimes, depending on how they smell. And the next game I want to talk about would be probably RPG time, The Legend of White. Gameplay, I guess, and it's another one of those games. This was announced 3 years ago. I mean, it shows that this game, it is love to the game. It's one of those games that really makes you think, holy shit, this is the game that makes you think the people who worked on this game are in love with their own game, and they should be in love with their own game, because everything about this game is just amazing. Basically, this game is a little kid made his own tabletop kind of game. How to explain this? Like, you kind of see the gameplay, like the table has like scribblings on, and he kind of explains the game to you, like, and you kind of, it's like a point and click adventure kind of, and it's like in a hands-drawn style like this, where you go around with the hero through different worlds. Like, you have a forgotten mansion that's like spooky, you have like caves with moles that live in there who have a video game show, you have you know, normal castle stuff, and basically you click on these buttons left and right to activate things. Like, sometimes you click here on these things, like for example, there's like a hidden thing here, if you can see my mouse cursor, like there's hidden ninjas in every level that you can click on, and then you know, it's like, wow, you found a hidden dude. And then sometimes you get like these questions, and mostly it's a point and click adventure, but sometimes you do a little bit more than just point and clicking, and there's like so many different game styles in there. The one thing I have to say about the game is that sometimes it feels like you're actually getting treated like a baby, but the thing is, it kind of makes sense. Like, the game master of the game is a little kid who wants you to play his game, and he explains it in such a way that everyone can understand it. But sometimes it feels like, yeah, you're explaining this to me and it should be obvious, but you know, that's a little bit annoying sometimes with how much dialogue there can be sometimes when you already know the answer. It's like, yeah, I know what I have to do, little boy, but it kind of adds a little bit of flair to it. And the whole game, like, after every chapter you have like a new style, and it's like every page is hand drawn. Look at the animations, there's like so many different styles in it, and it's, I don't understand how this game was ever made. Like, it is just something that made me think, holy moly. Like, I can't explain it. You have to play it for yourself. You should play it. If you don't, I come to your home and I will slap you and make you play this little kid's game, because he put so much effort into playing your or playing his tabletop game. Yeah, it is something that is probably didn't sell that well, sadly, and it should have been the surprise, and it should have been that one game where everyone goes like, holy shit, did you play this game? And most people didn't, sadly. Next on the list, you know, a game that got all the hype, but sadly wasn't the game that I wanted it to be, was the Cult of the Lamp. I guess we go with the trailer. Cult of the Lamp is a game where you take over a cult because you died, but then you come back to life because the demon goat thing, it's not a goat, it's like a different animal, and they basically tell you, hey, you know, make a cult for me, I will let you live. Then you have to destroy like all these other evil dudes who are actually, you know, also evil. Like, you're kind of evil, they're evil, everyone's kind of evil. And you have to make your own code. Why is this is no gameplay, this is just story stuff, I guess. And you have to make your own code, and it's like a roguelike with your own code, which is like a little bit of a simulation thing where you have your own village, And in the village, you build things to make your followers happy, and the happier they are, the more points you get to build other things. You know, they pray to the statue, and every time they do that, you can upgrade and you can make the village bigger. But there's not that much substance to the actual game. Like, this is the gameplay, and you get different weapons like a hammer, a sword, a dagger, a magic spell sometimes, and every time you level up your village, kinda, you level up the amount of weapons you can carry. Like, sometimes the sword is that if you upgrade your village, your sword isn't level 1 anymore, but then the next time you have to one, it's level 2. So basically, if you suck at the gameplay of the roguelike, you should work on your village, then make everyone happy, then you upgrade the village again. And you know, the gameplay loop is very simplistic, because eventually you reach a point where it's all the same. Like, you go through the motions, and it's not that much variety anymore. It's not really making you think like, wow, ouch, Jesus, there should be like a flashing lights warning in this trailer. And wow, Jesus, and it wasn't very fun. I wanted to drop it. I went through like, yeah, okay, now I played like 8 hours, 6 hours. Now I want to see the end, and it's like, oh yeah. If they ever make a sequel, I mean, with the amount of how well, you know, much it sold, like, it was like the indie darling of the year, with Stray Together, which I haven't played because my PC would probably explode if I would try to play that game. It was a little bit, you know, of a disappointment. I saw people go like, wow, this game is the best game of the year, and it's like, you know, if you get, but the style is great, but if you get over it, it makes you think, yeah. There's a reason why not that many people talk about it anymore. Obviously, one game that people still talk about is Vampire Survivors. I was one of those people that kinda, I guess, there was like a new DLC out soon too, or it already came out. I was one of those people who got it like fairly early. Why am I even saying this? I don't know if I got it earlier before other people. Basically, I got it like one day after release, where people go like, wow, did you hear about this game? Also, let me take a sip of my Pepsi real quick. I'm not sponsored by Pepsi. If you see this, I don't know who the CEO of Pepsi is. Please sponsor me, okay? So, basically, Vampire Survivors idle games existed on like the iPhone for like a long time before this game, I think. It's not like the original idle game, but it's like the one idle game that really exploded in the PC world, I think. I don't even know what those cards are. Like, I haven't played that much of it. The thing is, it was fun for a little bit, but then they started adding like so much new content, and I was like running late with the, like, look at all the content. Like, when I played the game, it was like 2 stages, 4 characters with unlockable characters, and then they added like so many secrets where you unlock this character through that and doing this and bam 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 bam, and I was like, oh, I can't, I don't want to play so much. Like, it got overwhelming for me, where it's like update every new week or something. And obviously it's a great thing, and it's like amazing how a little game can grow so fast, but even then I was already, you know, getting sick of it. Now I could probably go back to it and have a lot of fun again with it. So I should do that, especially since they released DLC a few weeks ago, or a week ago. And, you know, for $2, you can't really say anything against it. It just didn't grab me as it did other people, where they grinded the whole day. Like, I got a few 30 minutes once, but it's like the kind of game where you kind of sometimes think, why am I playing this? Like, I did a 30-minute one, I killed some time, but in that time I could have, I don't know, watched an episode of anime or something like that. But, you know, for an idle game, it's pretty great. But it's not like, I see people say like, this should be the game of the year, but it's also like, what makes a game of the year? Like, your game can be game of the year, that every game can be game of the year for someone, but there's like people who say like, oh, this publication didn't include Vampire Survivors because, oh, I don't know, and that invalidates them or something like that. And, you know, I don't hacking know, but it's like a game that was fun, and it's probably still fun, and, you know, for so little money, can't probably go wrong. And it's on Game Pass, but I don't have Game Pass. Another game, now we go back to some disappointing kind of games, Nintendo Switch Sports. The thing is, if you ever played Wii Sports Resort and you have to go back to this game, it makes you think, why Nintendo? Why? One thing I have to say is the new Miis are kind of okay. I don't mind them too much. I kind of got used to it, especially since they release like a new collection every week online if you grind it. And with every rank up, you can choose an item and then you complete the card and then you get the item that is like the best item in the collection. And to a certain degree, my fear of missing out, where I wanted to have like all the cool stuff, made me play this game. Like I just mindlessly went online, played a little bit of bowling, played a little bit of tennis and volleyball too, because those are the 3 sports arts that are fun for me. There was like data mining about like surfing or dodgeball, but you know, golf took like 6 months or 7 months to come out. I haven't touched it because I don't like golf. And you know, the bowling online is fun. The thing is, you can't choose which kind of bowling you want. Like there's like 2 kinds of bowlings. You bowl normally, or there's like trick bowling, and I always get the trick bowling, which I don't think is that much fun. Like I want a normal bowling, but you can't choose it. I wish that you could be choosing it, or you would be able to choose it, but sadly you can't, and that kind of makes me sad. And it just makes me think, yeah, this costs $40, and it has so little content. All the content you unlock is like clothing. I unlocked like cute clothing, especially Halloween collections were pretty good. And now it's collecting dust on my Switch because I was a sucker who bought it digitally, so I can't even sell it. I wouldn't sell it really because I'm still hoping they add like those data mine stuff like dodgeball. Dodgeball sounds really fun. Also, it's called football, not soccer. Yeah, imagine, you know, you would tell someone, hey, you know, there's going to be a new Wii Sports, Switch Sports in this year, and it would have less content than Resort, and it would basically be like the tech demo that Wii Sports was. Like, it really doesn't have anything, really. It makes you really wonder why. Like, we are kind of used to Nintendo sports games having a little bit bare bones of content. And, you know, the next game I want to talk about is no example in that. It's no exception, I mean. And, you know, I guess you already know what other sports games from Nintendo came out this year. And, you know, it's Mario Strikers Battle League. And when they announced this in the February Nintendo Direct, I was like, holy moly. Finally, my favorite sport gets a new entry. I love the GameCube one, Mario Smash Football. The Wii one was, well, too gimmicky for my taste. I still grinded with a friend together, online multiplayer together on like one console. Some weeks we were even like rank 1. After every week they reset the ranks and stuff, and it was kind of fun to grind it. Even though that, like I said, it has too many gimmicks, like the way you have to charge the ball, the way Boo could just teleport through people into the goal, through the goalie. It made you think, yeah, I kind of wish they would simplify it again, like the GameCube game. The GameCube game is still perfect. It's just perfectly perfect. It just makes me think, you can't make this better than better. Like, the GameCube, you could remaster the GameCube version, put Rosalina in, and I would grind it for the next 20 years. And this game, when they first showed it, there was no gimmicks. I didn't see gimmicks. I didn't see, like, charging balls. I didn't see hacking all your characters having like special moves. Obviously you can say Team Tackle is a gimmick, but it actually added something. The gameplay of the game is actually quite solid. It feels more like the GameCube game again. 2 things that destroyed the smaller arenas. I'm pretty sure the arenas are smaller than in the original GameCube game. And the thing is, every team can have like 4 main characters. Back in the day, you know, your team had like 1 main character, and the other characters were like Birdos, Toads, Hammer Bros. In the GameCube version, who didn't have anything special going on. They were all just decent all-rounders. While the other main characters had like decent stats depending on fast, you know, strong shots, whatever. And in this game, you have main characters, and you also have the gear that you can use to make someone like Peach a strong shooter, even though she's normally like precise, whatever. And the gear makes you think, yeah, I can gear up my people. The thing is, if you play online, in my case, if you join a club and the club is like full, you are allowed to change from any character to any character. If you have your own club, I wanted to have my own club because I don't have friends, and also because if I have my own club, I can call it whatever the heck I want, you know, I'm the leader. And the thing is, if you play online with your own club and you only have like one person inside, they actually nerf you. You are not allowed to pick the characters you want for your team. You literally get into the character menu selection screen before every match, and you get a random amount of characters to choose from. Like, your captain will always be your captain that you choose for your club, but the other characters will be random. So the thing is, you can put all your gear, for example, on Bowser, but sometimes your Bowser won't show up, so you can't pick the one person you want to pick for your team, despite, you know, wanting to pick him. It's like, why do I get nerfed when I'm all alone? Like, shouldn't I be the one who's allowed to pick from any character? It's like one of those online features that makes you think, why Nintendo? Why next level games? Why am I not allowed to pick my own team? Like, why can't we just go back to like one main character and then I can pick like 4 brothers or whatever? And the other gameplay was Boom Boom. Where's the cool Crocodile? The thing is, Boom Boom in this game is terrible. He has weird as fuck animations that make you think, yeah, maybe if they wouldn't put all the effort into this animation, he would be a way better keeper. I hate Boom Boom. I have to say this. I hate Boom Boom. I hate Boom Boom in every other game. In Mario Bros. 3. Mario Bros. 3, Boom Boom was okay. In every other game, he's like the worst boss of all time. I hate his look. His new look looks so fucking disgusting. I actually could puke if I see Boom Boom. Boom Boom just makes me so angry seeing him in every new Super Mario Bros. Game. In Mario Maker 2, he just makes me angry. I hope he won't show up in the movie, because I will literally walk out of the cinema if I see him in the movie. I will literally smack my popcorn down onto the ground and just leave the cinema. I can't do it. I hate Boom Boom. His bald head, nothing against bald people, but his bald head, the way he moves in this game with how like, he acts so arrogant, but he's like the worst keeper in any game. Back in the day, the Crocodile, yeah, like the alligator, crocodile, whatever he is, he was consistent. Like, sometimes he was like godlike, and sometimes he let a shot through that made you think, okay, he could have had it, but there was kind of consistency. It made you think, okay, I cannot see. And in this game, nope. It's totally random how well your Boom Boom is. Sometimes, and from that, you saw Donkey Kong here. From this position, a shot like that is always in. That's also something that destroyed the online mode. Sometimes those people you play, the thing is, last time I tried to play this game, I searched for a match for 5 minutes. No match found. It's so dead. And for a good reason. Like, online, you either play against someone who just bought the game, or you played against someone who had like 500 games in literally 2 days. Because the seasons only last like a few days, and when you don't have a season going on, you can only play like public matches instead of with your club matches. It's like, you know, this, I don't know, it just made me so sad. Something like the style of the stadiums that you can change, everything else is kind of okay, but I didn't think I could be disappointed by a game like this. I didn't think I would literally hate myself for buying this. I knew kinda, you know, the trailers leading up to release, it made me think, maybe I shouldn't have pre-ordered it. I can still cancel it, but it just made me think, Nintendo, why? Next level games, why? Like, and now all the free updates were like, oh, we added Diddy Kong, oh, we added Pauline, wow. This gameplay is so freaking wasted. The same case was with Mario Tennis Aces. Like, it feels so sterile. Man, I'm turning in German mode because I'm getting like so frustrated by thinking about it. Okay, the thing is, I should have deleted all of these games from my list that I talked about. Okay, so we have 4 games left. So let me talk about Elden Ring. Elden Ring is a mixed bag for me. Elden Ring obviously was one of those games. It's the most hyped game. It's gonna win all of the Game of the Year things. The thing is, I hope these launch, the launch day was probably full of spoilers, I think. Official gameplay reveal, that probably should be fine. You know, if you haven't played it, you shouldn't watch it, but Elden Ring, the first 10 hours made me think, holy shit, this world is amazing. But after that, it kind of set in more and more that it is just like any other open world game. The legacy dungeons amazing. Like the three of those big dungeons, you know, like the first castle you go to, amazing. The academy had a few annoying things, but great. The capital, Leiden or Linden, I've already forgot. The mansion, you know, the volcano mansion. Like there's so many amazing spots that make me feel it didn't need the open world, because the open world after a while feels like any other Ubisoft open world to me. Obviously, you know, it has a cool look to it, and there's some cool lookouts sometimes, or cool spots or vistas to admire the atmosphere, but overall, you know, some of the ruins feel very samey, the enemy camps very samey. The way they reuse the bosses for most of those dungeons made me kind of lose appreciation for most of them. Like, for the first time, when you fight a boss for the first time, it makes you think like, oh, this was a fun boss, nothing too special, but it was okay. And then you see this boss again, and again, and again. And there was like a list, there's like 12 unique bosses, and most of them are the big bosses. But even then, some of those big bosses are kind of like reused again. It kind of makes you think like, oh, come on, really? And you know, it kind of loses the boss appeal, kind of like every time in a Souls game when I stepped through like a fog gate, I was like wondering, oh, who could it be behind this door? And then I beat the boss and I was like, wow, cool boss, meh boss, amazing boss. But in this game, you sometimes go through a fog gate and you don't really think, oh, is there going to be a cool boss behind this door? You're just going to think like, oh, which boss did they reuse this time for this dungeon? And you know, it loses a little bit of its magic. Like sometimes I think the game was like too big for its own good. Like there's a lot of people who say, you know, it did need the open world. I do think, you know, to a certain degree, like obviously in a certain degree, I would kind of agree with those people if it was just, you know, like the interconnectivity that you have in the normal Souls game, where, you know, you mostly go from a corridor to the different world with a few shortcuts here and there, then yeah. But, you know, without the open world, you probably wouldn't have felt this big wow effect sometimes, where you go through like the open world and you see like a cool entry. Like one of the biggest wow effects is like basically going from the overworld through a big elevator to the downworld, and something with Noska or something is that town called, and you know, you basically realize, wow, there's a whole new map under the world too, wow. And you know, there's a few moments like that where you think, holy moly. But then overall, it's not a bad game, but it just felt, you know, I don't understand why people jerk off so hard to the open world, and it also stretches a little bit towards the end. You know, I do understand why it gets all the praise it gets, but you know, I would say, whew, I mean, if I would have to give it a number from out of 10, I would give it 6 maybe. Too much repetition, and you know, it's not bad, but it wasn't like the home run that other people had with it. It makes me a little bit sad, you know, because it did feel like a game where you finally are on your own. You finally go on a journey through a world that makes you think this world is dangerous, but you can get lost in this world. And then, you know, the more I played it, the more I didn't get lost in the world, because most of the open world problems started to show for me. Maybe I'm just not an open world person, despite liking Breath of the Wild, but that's one of the really rare open world games that I really enjoyed. But you know, I don't want to open like debate about, oh, what's better, open world of Breath of the Wild or Elden Ring? Because in the end, every open world game will have the same problems that other open world games will have for other people, unless you really got lost into the world. You know, I would disagree with people who would say Breath of the Wild's world felt empty or boring after a while for them, because it's their opinion, and we all have those opinions, don't we? But you know, I was a little bit disappointed, but you know, can't win them all from software. Okay, next, you know, this would be a good game after this, Lunasid. Lunasid, you know, is a game that imitates From Software's other series that most people probably never really played back in the day. It is a dungeon crawler in the veins of Kingsfield. Wait, why is the music? Oh, that's music from the music. And you basically have, I mean, you fall into a well, basically. You fall down a well, and then there's a whole world down there, but this is the intro cutscene, kinda. and then you're all on your own. You explore caverns, sewers. They recently added a castle update, which I haven't played yet, and it feels a modern take on it. Like when I tried to play Kingsfield, I got filtered. I have to say, Kingsfield for me wasn't very fun, but this game with the modern, control scheme of using your mouse, you can walk perfectly fine. It's just really fun to play, and there's many secrets, many cool locations, and it's only $6 on Steam. And if you ever wanted to play like a Kingsfield game, but it was too old school for you, this is perfect. This is the perfect modern dungeon crawler in the same style. I'm a pussycat, and sometimes the game even scared me because of that. It has a great atmosphere, cool enemy designs, tons of weapons, like I said, secrets that make you think, holy moly. It makes you feel like, oh, it kind of has this feeling where you find something and makes you really think, holy moly, I found something cool. It's from the same person that also made Lost in Vivo, which is also a great game if you haven't played that. It's a Silent Hill inspired horror game, and this person just makes really great games. And like I said, it's $6. If you ever wanted to even try Kingsfield but haven't yet, I don't want to say that if you play this game first, Kingsfield will disappoint you, but in a certain degree, this really captures all the feelings that you would get playing Kingsfield without the frustration. With like it feels like I'm putting one game down to hype the other one, which I'm not trying to do, but both games are great in their own way, even though I got filled by Kingsfield. But yeah, you should check this out. If you don't buy this, I will find you, and I will not murder you, because that's a threat. I will log into your Steam account, and then I will buy it for you. So you will actually win $6 because the game is only $6. So if I make you buy it, you will enjoy those $6. So it's not lost money. Then another indie surprise for me was Curse Crackers. Will I even find this if I just type Curse Crackers here? Like the thing is, Curse Crackers, For Whom the Bell Tolls, is a 2D Jump'n'Run. And yes, I said Jump'n'Run. Jump'n'Run is a German word for platformer. I love to say it because in this game you jump and you run. It's from the same people who made Prodigal, which was like a 2D inspired Zelda kind of game. And this is for me the best Jump'n'Run, 2D Jump'n'Run this year. Basically, Belle, I think her name was like that. And you have this little tiny thing that you can throw, and you can throw it at enemies, and then you can throw it, and sometimes it blows itself up in a way, and you can jump on it. You can, you can do many cool tricks with it, because when you first play through the game, the thing is there's like so much content. There's secret exits, there's side quests you can solve to get more levels, and there's like a whole, not just underworld, there's also a book world. There's like so many different things in every level. You can find all the roses, which are 3. You can find swords, you can find books, and if you find those, it unlocks a different world again. There's like so many things to find, and they're like fairly well hidden. And if you find enough, you unlock like a double jump, a hover jump, and there's like so many things to unlock and to see, and they're still updating the game. And there's like so much content in such a tiny 2D Jump'n'Run that looks like a Game Boy Color game. And like Portugal, I would recommend this to anyone. Like, these people know what they're doing with they're not knockoffs or wannabes. They're like their own thing, but they really remind you of your childhood when you played those games, like Zelda on the Game Boy Color, or Game Boy Color inspired Jump'n'Runs like these. And there's just, also the art style, amazing. The music is great. There's waifus, if you like that. And it was my favorite Jump'n'Run this year. And the thing is, obviously on this list, did I even have a different other 2D Jump'n'Run? Like, the thing is, I played more than just these games, but most of the other games didn't really feel like, wow, this is making me want to talk about it in a good way or bad way. But this also, I think, felt kind of under the radar. I can check my Steam. Right now to see how much reviews it got. So let me quickly check it, because it's not enough. Store page, it has around, also I can check you the price, it has 62 reviews, only 62 reviews. I wanted to make like a whole video about this game. It's 12 bucks on sale, 8 bucks. There's also a demo to check it out, and you should. It makes me sad that it didn't breakout hit itself. You should check it out. If you don't, again, like Luna said, I will come over and I will buy it for you from your own money though. And now, the last game I want to talk about, people who know me know what I love, Xenoblade Chronicles 3. This is a little bit of a difficult kinda thing to talk about, because, how do I say, it's not a bad game, but it's a game that didn't stick with me the way I wanted to stick with me. When I played Xenoblade 2, I was always a Xenoblade 1 fan. I didn't play Xenoblade X on release because, well, I didn't have a Wii U. Oh wait, I gave myself my eyes turned into hearts. Which button did I press? Oh, I'm blushing too. Maybe it's because I talked about Xenoblade, and it kind of makes me want to blush about it. But anyways, you know, when you play Xenoblade 3, when I played Xenoblade 2 back in the day, it made me feel something I haven't felt before. Like when I first played Xenoblade 1, it actually kind of got me into JRPGs again. I was never the biggest JRPG fan, but when I played on my Wii, I was like, holy shit, this is great. I should check out more JRPGs. But none of them really grasped me like Xenoblade 1. And you know, when they announced Xenoblade X, I was like, oh, maybe I should get a Wii U for that. But even that didn't make me get a Wii U. And then when I saw Xenoblade 2 announced for the Switch, I was like, I wanted to get a Switch for release anyways, because, well, I needed to play Breath of the Wild. I was like, yeah, I mean, yeah, looks good. But every trailer leading up to the release made me a little bit more hyped and made me think like, oh yeah, this is gonna be great. But at the end, I completed Xenoblade 2, cried my eyes out, and I was like, this is the game. This is my favorite game. And it turned into my favorite game of all time, basically. And now with Xenoblade 3, there's like this, there was a false expectation for me in a way. Like, obviously, in a little bit, they said like, oh, you know, if you play Xenoblade 1 and Xenoblade 2, you will really enjoy Xenoblade 3 even more. But in the end, the game felt a little bit more like, if you take out one or two things and change it around, Xenoblade 1 and 2 don't mean too much to this game. And I felt it's a little bit on me to think that it's going to combine them in a bigger way that it didn't do. And that's why maybe I got a little bit disappointed by it, even though I still love the game. Disappointment is maybe the wrong word. I had the wrong expectations for it. Even though the pacing in certain places after chapter 5 was, well, it was a little bit off, and the whole ending sequence, the final villain, I still thought, after I simmered a little bit about it, was like, yeah, it wasn't too bad. I get it. But something about it, it just never really, it had like high heights, but also really lows, where it's like, yeah, another colony, no, we do this at the same colony, we destroy the Flame Claw, there's another named Morbius, and at a certain point it became a little bit, I think it also, for me, it's a little bit of a Xenoblade fatigue, where every game, Xenoblade 1 and 2 had this Titan stuff, right? Like in Xenoblade 1, you go onto two huge ass Titans, and it's a great gameplay hook and story hook together. It's like, wow, I want to kind of see how they made this world. In Xenoblade 2, it was a little bit smaller on different Titans, but it felt like a real adventure going from Titan to Titan throughout the Cloud Sea in cutscenes, because, well, you can't drive over to different Titans with your little ship there sometimes. And here it felt like there was no hook. The hook was, it's a world combined from Xenoblade 1 and 2. And it sometimes felt like, hey, remember this enemy, and remember this thing that stands around on the Gaia plains in Xenoblade 1, and remember this from Xenoblade 2. Crazy, right? It felt a little bit more like you didn't went throughout a journey. Like, in a way, it's probably the biggest world, but it didn't feel like you're going through different worlds. You know, it felt like a best of, without reaching the heights of the other heights of the other games. Like, obviously, areas look great and are still very fun to explore, but in Xenoblade 1 and 2, I always felt like, wow, it was like cool with how the worlds looked and connected in Xenoblade 1. Like, oh, I can look down the shoulder to see like this village and that, and it was like, wow, crazy. And in Xenoblade 2, it was like, they were also, what is this music? Jeez, it's just suddenly Final Fantasy 11 battle, even though I thought it was like a soundtrack. And you know, in Xenoblade 3, the world felt like, yeah, it's a normal world. Like, there's no titans, and it didn't feel as huge in the end, kinda. It didn't feel like I traversed like a whole journey when I beat the game. It was like, yeah, I went from here to there. So there was kind of something lacking in that regard. And music absolutely great, but again, the overworld themes great. Like, if you listen to them in peace outside of the game, it feels like, yeah, this is great, but it never really reaches like some of the themes that 1 and 2 had. Like, none of the field themes really are in my head right now. Like, the one field theme, which isn't really a field theme, is like the Agnus Castle a day after you do some story stuff there. That's a theme that stuck in my head, but other than that, it's like sometimes like, yeah, phew, not bad, but not overly great. And, you know, Sea is also a great song, but or whatever the sea song was called. And you know, it sounds like I'm dissing the game too much, but I like the characters, but I don't have them in my heart like I had the cast of Xenoblade 2. Xenoblade 1 had the same problem where the cast was like, yeah, cool people, but Xenoblade 3 is better than the cast of 1, but it's like, I thought the two blandest characters in the game were like Mio and Noah, and it didn't have that most of those characters were them who got all the spotlight with their equivalence to the others. And you know, it's like I could talk about it for like more hours, but gameplay wise, I have to say this again, it felt like Xenoblade with more characters this time. And you know, chain attack. I'm not the biggest fan of the combat system in any Xenoblade game, really. Like, Xenoblade 1 didn't feel like chain attack the game, but then with Xenoblade 2 it started being like, we should call it chain attack the game, kinda. Obviously, you know, there's tons of people who break the gameplay of it, but, you know, and in a certain way, you know, all of those things kind of made it for a not forgettable experience, but it wasn't the experience that I really seek. Like, Xenoblade 2 was inside of my head for months and years by now, but Xenoblade 3 feels more like a thing where I'm like, I enjoyed my fun with it, I enjoyed my time with it. I'm obviously going to buy the DLC when the story DLC comes out. I'm going to be excited for that, but it doesn't feel like the kind of game that makes me think, yeah, it's going to be my all-time favorite. It's still better than 1 for me, but, you know, maybe I had too many high expectations, even though I didn't. Something about it just didn't hit right with me at certain points, and it makes me a little bit disappointed, but it was still almost my game of the year. I would say, you know, it shares its game of the year award for me with Kirby and all the other games I talked nicely about. But, you know, I kind of thought this is going to be it, the perfect solution to the trilogy. Maybe solution is the wrong word. Like, it kind of made me think about the final solution. I don't know why I said that, but you know, yeah. And you know, there obviously were more games that I played this year, but these were the games that kind of left a mark on me with how great they are, how bad they are, with how much they stuck in my head. And it wasn't a bad year. Like, I see so many people saying, oh, no, wait, there was another game. I totally didn't even put it on my list. Obviously, there was Pokemon, what does it call again? Violet and Scarlet. Oops, I almost forgot that. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet gameplay, game trailer, I guess. And you know, to a certain degree, I really did not expect these games to actually enjoy it. Like, I was looking for a game that made me think, yeah, you know what, I have nothing else to play, why not order it? Like, I ordered it like 1 week before release because I had like zero hype. I didn't even hate Sword and Shield that much. I was like, yeah, was a fun wump, but this game, obviously technical issues aside, which I never had a hard crash, obviously the FPS, the graphics are not great, but overall it actually felt really fun. I had so much fun. The thing is, it doesn't run into the same open world problems that other games have. In this game, you don't need secret stupid puzzles in the overworld that make you think, yeah, this is just a puzzle in the overworld just to give you something to do, because the main thing about the open world is catchy Pokemon. You know, you walk around, you don't walk around to find secret freaking puzzles, you walk around to find secret Pokemon. And obviously there's some secrets in the overworld too. Like, you walk around not to defeat enemies in some enemy camp, or do this or do that. And you know, I think in certain degrees, when I see people say the overworld is empty and there's nothing to do, it's like, whoa, you know what you have to do, you have to catch Pokemon. And the one thing I hate about the game is that you can't customize your character, and I hope the DLC fixes it, but I was just having so much fun with the game. Also, Sprika Tito, or whatever the cat is called, best starter, and Mios Karada is also great. The Pokemon designs are loved. The stories were, I mean, I didn't like the King Titan storyline, because what's his name, Pepper? Oh, is that his German name? Arven is this English name, right? Arven was like, at the start it was like, oh fuck this guy, but then I opened up my heart to him. And the obviously the arena leaders quest line is like the normal Pokemon quest line. Then you have the Team Star stuff, which was actually kind of sweet towards the end. There was some stuff that made me think, how does this even make sense? Also, they can go fuck themselves with their huge ass cars in annoying fights. And it was just kind of fun, you know, going around doing things at your own leisure. I freaking love Iono. There she was, perfect timing, and it was just fun, you know. I didn't expect it. I didn't expect my time to it with it be that great. And the thing is, last area spoilers, so if you haven't beaten the game yet, I guess you can now shut off the video, because I'm not gonna say anything afterwards anymore. Area 0 gives me hope for the future of Pokemon. Like, that section felt like great. The thing is, that section actually made my Switch overheat 2 times. Like, I didn't have a hard crash, but that actually area made me shut down my Switch because it actually got really hot. Maybe it's because I have a launch Switch, and I mean, let's be honest, it's Pokemon's fault. And it just made me think, holy moly, this actually was a section. The music in it was great. The story was like, whoa, kind of surprising. There's people dying and shit. Like the doctor died. Like, you don't see him dying, but you know. And the music great. Toby Fox thumbs up for that. And it just made me think, holy moly. You know, now imagine DLC going crazy on the Area 0 kind of stuff again. And I think we are gonna see DLC about that, hopefully. And again, it was, I mean, it wasn't a surprise hit, but it was like, it actually, after Pokemon Arceus, which I haven't played, but I looked at it and I was like, holy shit, that is like a disgusting thing to show to people. This made me think, holy moly. I actually have hope for the next Pokemon game, or for the DLC. I, again, just hope the DLC is going to add some customization, and, you know, or that the next game brings customization back, because if they don't, I'm going to be really hecking sad. So, those were most of the games that I played this year and remembered and wanted to talk about. So, you know, I hope next year will also be a good year. Like, this year was pretty okay. There were cute heaps of games. You know, could have been worse. Oh, my video just stopped too. So, I wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And we will see us next year at the same time. This time I will actually keep a checklist of every game I've played, because I'm still probably thinking I probably missed like 1 or 2 hacking games that I wanted to talk about, but you know, maybe I will think about them when I hit the exit button here. So, I hope you also had fun video gaming this year. That was cringe. Jesus Christ. I'm gonna... yeah, this one hurt. Merry Christmas.